Alrighty then, everybody out there on the internet, it is Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, the open world Final Fantasy VI randomizer. My name is the Schwantz27, and we have an awesome skirmish for you tonight between Prominence with the light blue, teal, aqua, something like that on the the aqua slate on the left, and the black slate with the purple on the right. With Jex Rocks, I'm joined in the commentary booth-ish by Nobody War. He's going to be pushing the buttons and doing all the tracking and restreaming, so I will be probably the primary comm for tonight. But what's going on, Nobody War? How are you doing?
Oh, not much. I'm good, Schwantz. How are you?
Good, awesome. This will be a pretty exciting race for you here. We've got the Dragon's Neck flag set. So this is the area of the Coliseum. And as you see on Jexvarox's screen, the Coliseum has 255 visible rewards. So we can see every single thing that the Coliseum has to offer in this flag set, along with the Kefka unlock being 7 characters, 9 Espers, and needing to win a Coliseum match. So we're going to see our runners at least go to the Coliseum to unlock Kefka, if not for some of the goodies in there. There also is a Kefka Tower skip at 9 characters and 12 bosses. So if we end up with a bit more characters than normal, we might be able to do like a KT shimmy shuffle to get to our 12 bosses. But the other big thing in this flag set is all of the characters are afflicted with Auto-Bserk off the start, which basically means we don't have control over any of our characters. We're going to need to go to shops to potentially find peace rings or ribbons to negate that status. You can get a ribbon if you do kill 2 dragons, and 3 dragons will give you plus 20 strength or vigor. That'll go a long way towards physical builds, but we're going to want to see some of those ribbons early. The other few interesting things with this flag set is that bosses are random, same with encounters, so there are possible repeats with both the random mobs that we're fighting and the bosses that we see. And note that for Kefka Tower, it is 12 unique bosses. So if we see, I don't know, Ghost Train 3 times, yeah, it'll be cool to suplex the train 3 times, but only one of them will count towards a possible KT skip. So that's something to keep an eye out on. As far as chests and shops go, they are nerfed with random scaled for chests, meaning both runners, I believe, will get the same contents in chests based on how many they open. So everybody's third chest is going to be exactly the same. The shops are random tiered with no rods, no super balls, no shields, no experience eggs, no illuminas, and the price varies wildly from 25% to 200%. So we may get a very, very expensive ribbon or a very, very cheap peace ring. So I'm looking out for our runners to go in there. Espers are also very random. 0 to 5 spells on an Esper, and they're only equipable by a random either 6 through 12 characters. I'm not sure what monstrosity we rolled with this particular seed tonight, but not every character can equip any Esper. I think I basically covered most of the stuff. You got anything else to add, Nobody War? Have you run this particular flag set before and have any other insight into it?
Yeah, to me, this one, it was just Auto-Bserk, and then I kind of played all of these blind, so yeah.
That's the best way to play.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Learning lessons the hard way.
Or the easy way.
Yeah, that's true too. So we do start with 2 characters, so we'll see exactly which 2 of our characters we start off with. And here we go. It looks like we're off and running. The Auto-Bserk objective is complete, and we have a Sketch Lock and a Runic Realm. So not great here so far on the commands, but we do have some access to some pretty gnarly checks, including the Norse Weapon Shop, where we can get a free either Esper or high-tier item choice, and we can see what our Cursed Shield count is. Considering we already know that there will be a ribbon available for defeating 2 dragons, I think we go pick this up right away here. And that's what Prominence is doing, while Jexvarox is in the world of Balance Narsh. So both will be able to get all the chests in here, because Locke can unlock the things. That's why his name is Locke. Maybe his name should be Unlock. Alright, let's see what's in the weapon shop here. It is, A bit of a choice there. Wow. We were just saying on the stream the other day, I think, where
Wow.
where you were
Wow.
involved. You were actually racing, so you didn't hear us talk about it.
I
But there is
rewatched it.
there's a 1.2% chance that that you get the same item choice twice there. Actually, it's probably even lower because there's 30 something. It's 1 in 32 and then 1 in 32.
Wait till Jack
it's kinda
sees
crazy.
that. That's gonna be great.
Well, now that we have instant access to offerings, I don't think we're going to be looking for monster in a boxes at all here, as Jex picks up a Rage Ring that offers fire absorption and lightning resistance, so that's a pretty good relic to have. In vanilla, that can only be used by Umaro, but in this flag set, our equipables are original plus 33% random, and Prominence is going to show us this Curse Shield count here. Yeah, so let's see what this is, and yeah, like I said, I don't think we're going to be doing much monster in a box hunting. 9 is probably doable, considering we have to get all the way to 7 characters and 9 Espers, right? By the way, Kaiser Divis subscribing with Prime for 4 months in a row. Thank you so much for the subscription. We do pool our Twitch Prime subs and any donations we get on stream to donate to whatever the next event is. And I believe it's going to be the Fastest Furs Fall competition. I wish I knew exactly when that is, because then I could plug it and all that other stuff. But keep on the lookout there in our Discord. We do put up events for when these things happen. So I'll go look it up at some point and figure out exactly when that's going to be. Runners tracing over each other's steps. 9 battle curse shield. Nobody war. You think we're doing it here, or what do you think?
Oh, definitely. If you pick up a peace ring or a ribbon in the early looting or see it, like a peace ring is early buy for me in routing for loot, so.
Let's see. Okay, so the Fastest Furs Fall Fest is from November 10th to the 13th. I don't think they have the schedule. Nope. So the schedule is being revealed next week, or in 2 weeks rather, October 1st through the 7th sometime. So we won't see exactly when, but yeah, so it'll be sometime later in November. All right, another popular spot. Pearl Lance in a chest right there. That's pretty nice to have. Returners has some 8 chests, 9, one of the two, and it's got a shop here. Unfortunately, no relic shop, so that's really what we're going to want to do is rush some of the relic shops for access maybe to those ribbons or peace rings. Jexarock doesn't know that there's 2 offerings. He's going to dive the monster.
Oh, he got him.
But you know what?
Yeah,
this is a pretty. Oh, he did see it. Okay. This is a pretty good fight, though, because this will give us some XP, and these PM Stalkers really don't do much other than do drain, which, if you don't attack them, it's pretty easy. Selling off a lot of stuff there for that Phoenix down. If we get somebody with tools, there's a drill in that shop as well. And my favorite strat is to just put the curse ring on and use the curse shield and use the heal rod. So there is a heal rod for sale. That's always a favorite strategy of mine. If you can't find a peace ring or a ribbon, at least your character will be hitting some random people and curing them. November dates are old and it's in October. Okay, I'm looking at their Oengus. I don't even know how to say this word. Oengus. Sure, that thing. Anyway, so yeah, once we know what the schedule is for that, we'll certainly let everybody know. So Prominence continuing on the normal looting loop, I would call, into South Figaro. Jexvarok, however, took his airship north and ended up at the bottom of the world, because that's how circles work. And he's in the Phoenix Cave here. I like this play early. There's a bunch of chests in here. Don't think we're going to fight the dragon. You do get, as we mentioned, a ribbon for killing 2 dragons. And you also get plus 20 strength for killing 3 dragons. But
is this the one where they are not scaled?
No, that's Velt.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so the dragons are scaled to our scaling, which I didn't really mention because it was not that important. But since we got some time to kill, let's talk about it here. It's characters plus Espers plus dragons times 2.5. So right now we have 2 characters, 0 Espers, 0 dragons. So that's 4 times 2.5. And math is hard on stream.
Scaled chests, right?
That's 8. Yep, scaled chests. So that Pearl Lance that you saw from Jexrock was the same Pearl Lance that Prominence got in the Returner's hideout. So, yeah, I forgot about that.
That's honestly one of my favorite flags. It really is.
It's one of those things where it's interesting. I like it because it means that everybody gets the same loot and you get to see who's better, you know, execution-wise and routing-wise. But it also takes away some of those, you know, Hail Mary plays.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go Phoenix Cave early and get a treasure that my opponent
Right. Well, the density of chest in there, I think, is kind of equivalent, though. If you're going to get them all.
Yeah, there are a lot of and you get a quote unquote free reward here, right? We already saw our one free reward of an offering or another offering. Wonder if there's a difference between the top offering and the bottom offering. If we do get Terra, then we can go and get a second offering, which is overkill. But hey, that's what happens sometimes. Scooting past this dragon for an empty chest, that's a feels bad. So Prominence's empty chest was in the Norse Elder's house, and Jexarox's was by the dragon, so bit unlucky there. We did see a couple of earrings being picked up, so that'll be good for Realm to have early. AKA the Murder Child, usually has pretty strong magic power. And we'll see what the reward is here at the end of the Phoenix Cave. I'm guessing our runners are going to do some grind fights or maybe go through Owser's Mansion before going into the Coliseum to get off of level 3, right? And there's an Esper there for Jexarock, his first one on the board. Oh, and it's Calmness Protection too. That's a nice one to find early. That gets at least that part of the final fight off your back and off your mind. So the first 10 minutes or so of Worlds Collide Seeds are usually getting our free checks and doing some looting and shopping. I still haven't seen any peace rings or ribbons for sale, although they've only been to one relic shop here. And there's a cursed ring. I usually like to buy one of those because that gives me access to instant death for Final Kefka. And since we're already going to be, condemned with the cursed shield counter anyway, right? Of course, it's in a chest, regardless. So there you go. It's a reminder, folks. Get your cursed ring, put it on, learn X Zone. Profit. All right, let's see what else South Figaro's got for us. Not going into the item shop just yet. Or they did and I just missed it. So yeah, would you lean heavily into the Auto-Bserk? It does give you increased strength, but it also means your characters are not controllable. Or would you go around and look for at least one peace ring and or ribbon here?
I kind of just take my general rule of thumb and take my first 6 minutes and do the same thing. And if I so happen to find something, it might change my pattern. With this, it just felt good to just let 2 people just go off and not have to worry about it. Just equip them with stuff, try to find a fight. They'll punch them, they'll die. Continue on. Yeah,
so another Rage Ring find there. We also found a Dragon Horn, so if we get some boots, we can go back to World of Ruin to Zen and make ourselves an endgame build there.
It was like last night, that horn was early for everybody.
Yeah, there was a lot of opportunities with how many? 3 Pearl Lances? And then more Lance? Actually, 2 of them, right? Because we beat Spicy Chicken as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, our bosses are repeats with this particular seed, so we might run into many Spicy Chicken, which would drop us many Aura Lances. And there's an Imp Halberd, speaking of things to jump with. If we could find, Tortoise Shield, Titanium, or Imp Armor to teach us the Imp spell, or maybe an Esper. Espers do have 0 to 5 spells, so it's really a wild card as to whether or not we're going to find an Esper with something useful in it. And they're only equipable by a certain subset of characters. Not everybody can equip every Esper, which is kind of a cool flag that I really, really like to use when doing, something like a living seed or try and create some flag sets, because normally in Worlds Collide you tend to be able to fall back on magic very easily, but with that setting on, you can't necessarily rely on a character just eventually learning all of the good spells, right? So it kind of makes your decision making a little bit more difficult there. Getting an Ice Elemental Sword there out of the weapon shop. That also gives +2 magic power. And not checking the relic shop before going into Bowser's Mansion. So this is one of Realm's checks. I like this play a lot here, because there's 2 forced encounters, but you could fight a lot more than that. You could fight the Nightshade painting, you could fight the Grabby painting, you could fight the drop-down chests. And it looks like we got offering Tiger Fangs for Realm. She's just clawing at everything. Yeah, so the Heal Rod quote-unquote workaround is if you have a character with the Curse Shield, they are automatically confused and berserked, so they'll always hit your team. If you put a Heal Rod as their weapon, then they'll just constantly heal your party. So it's kind of like it doesn't necessarily negate the fact that you can't control that character, but at least that character is not inflicting harm upon your team all the time. Usually with a Curse Shield character, I just like to not put a weapon on them at all. But if I have a Heal Rod and somebody can equip it, then why the heck not? Alright, we're heading through the rest of Bowser's Mansion here. Meanwhile, Jexfarok is in Famasa, and we still have not found any peace rings or ribbons. Yeah, so there you see Jex has got the Curse Shield on, and he has no weapon on Realm, because we don't want Realm to start hitting things. That would be bad. Alright, so let's see if Prominence takes on some additional fights here besides the required ones. Ooh, this can be a tough one here. The Manto Dia, they hit very, very hard. Yep. As I mentioned, 51 damage there. But it looks like we'll get through this okay. The interesting thing will be Tony Danza. Who's the boss? I'm sorry if you don't get that reference. I'm just old. Alright, it looks like Prominence is just going to go for it here. At level 9, so they're ahead of scaling, because remember, our scaling for our enemies is at 8, and Shadow is painting our picture there. So we're going to get a nice character pickup. And this is an easy fight here for a first boss, so not bad. We do have a 9 Battle Curse Shield in this particular seed. Oof. Yeah, these mandrakes over here will counter with Raid, which basically absorbs health, and it's however much health they're missing. And they're missing more health than you have, so there you go.
That's a Shadow.
There we go. So now we have access to a lot more checks. Gao Manor, Velt Cave, and Floating Continent. I'd have to imagine at this point we want to either go to Floating Continent right now, or maybe perhaps go to do our Coliseum thing. And that's Shadow with Blitz with a pretty decent magic power. And I know that Prominence has a set of 2 earrings, so that's really nice to find right away here. Community says the boss is Angela. Yeah, pretty much. All right, so there is one Esper Max in the auction house, but Prominence not checking to see if the doorman says that shiny stones are available here, so we won't know until much later on in the seed. And let's see where they decide to go next. Meanwhile, Jex Farok's just whacking people with an offering. I like this routing here from Prominence, going over to the South Figaro Cave, because you can get a heal both before and after this check, and it's very fast. So if this is something that you can't beat right away, you just come back later. Putting some beads on. That's speed +2 on that Fenrir. It doesn't teach any spells, but that's okay. It's Esper Summon is worth its weight, right?
For that one, for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's see what we got in our Coliseum here. Oh, there's a Tortoise Shield for our Imp user.
Mega Elixirs.
Mega Elixirs for green cherries. That one's pretty good, although this fight can get sketchy. Exo-Ray can doom your... can either zombie or doom you. But there it is. Mega Elixir, and that's one of the 3 requirements for unlocking Kefka. The other is to get to 7 characters and 9 Espers.
Shields.
I think that was an elemental shield.
Yeah, it was an ice shield for something.
All right, and it's Flame Eater here at the South Figaro Cave, so this boss is not going to be too bad. Unfortunately, that Pearl Rod is not going to do much of anything. Wah, wah, wah.
Sleeping bags for
gem
box.
For sleeping.
Ooh.
Yeah, that would be nice to flip and sell, you know?
Yeah.
Ice Shield for leather armor.
That's what it was, yeah.
Yeah. That's a nice one. Anytime you can get an elemental shield out of the Coliseum, that's great, because then, well, I mean, most of the characters start with leather armor. I don't know if they might be hard to find.
You usually end up with at least 3 or 4 in your inventory.
Yeah. All right, Flame Eater down over for Prominence as well. So while Jex has been beefing up his party, Prominence has been just doing checks, and that is the Kieran Esper, so that's his first Esper on the board there. This can be a sketchy fight here with Slam Dancer. Ooh, unfortunately, Realm cannot use Kieran. Doesn't teach anything, but it has magic power +1. Maybe Shadow can wear that, and then we could utilize his blitzes very nicely. Because most of the blitzes, aside from Pummel and Suplex, are based on your magic stat. Yeah, Jack's just pulling out a bunch of stuff out of the Coliseum there. There's that gem box that we were talking about. Oh, there's a hero ring in there, too. Another Esper that Realm can't use with Carbuncle. This one only has the OG fire and an HP bonus Esper. But Prominence here taking an early lead. He will eventually have to go to the Coliseum. But I don't mind just doing checks, especially, you know, since he's been able to get past some stuff. Now, his bosses have been pretty easy, right? So far, it's just been Narapa and Flame Eater, and we don't have a Peace Ring or Ribbon in sight yet. Yeah, in this particular flag set, since you know that the Coliseum is going to show all of the rewards and you have to do it for a final Kefka unlock, you're trying to sell as little as possible in the early game. Sometimes if I know I'm doing Coliseum play, I will buy just a bunch of junk just to see if I could turn trash into treasure. Oh. I don't know if that's something you do, Nobody War. I've noticed you do that
for
sometimes
sure.
too.
Yeah.
All right, so Jex is finally out of the Coliseum there. Spent a bit of time in it, but now has a bunch of gem boxes and at least one ice shield. He might have gotten 2 of them. The problem is we still have not seen peace rings or ribbons yet, so we still can't control our characters. Excuse me. Oh yeah,
That's a
selling
sweet
3
Millie.
gem boxes. Yep, there we go. Especially when a sleeping bag is what, $300, and you sell it. That's like a 1,000 times your investment there. Realm getting a little bullied here by this mega armor. Alright, so Floating Continent is 3 forced encounters, so I think that was 3. And now we fight one of 2 bosses. So the first of 2. You do get a story heal between the first boss and the second boss. But, yeah, Realm is doing a whole lot of nothing right now for prominence. Alright, let's see. Ooh. Not really what we want to see. Especially with a berserked crew, a multi-part boss is never fun. Alright, Jex is going to check here. The auction is just about to start, so that text means that there is no Esper in the Coliseum. Not the Coliseum. Where am I? What are we doing?
The auction house.
That thing. Yep, so no auction house to play today. So Jack's not going to do Bowser's Mansion right away. I think he's still looking for peace rings. English is hard. Thank you. Alright, so the good news is that one of the arms is down, so we won't get Delta hit. The bad news is that only Shadow is left alive. So this is gonna get dicey here. Thankfully, he's got that Rage Ring on. Remember, like I said, Rage Ring will absorb fire and nullify lightning. So that's basically all that Inferno usually does, is either fire, lightning, or, you know, other attacks. And here's where we might get into trouble with Delta hit. We got to kill that front claw. Thank goodness. Whew. Denzel Washington, hand on chest. Because if all 3 parts of Inferno are alive after a couple of turns, then that's when the bad Delta hit can come out. Alright, well here's the Bolt 2, which is going to do absolutely nothing. Yeah, this is part of the drawback with having your Auto-Bserk characters, is that you can't target who to target. And there it is, getting through Inferno. And since there is a story heal, we are going to get Locke and Realm back up for the next fight. However, they won't get any of the XP or MP for that fight. And Jex is now in World of Balance Mobliz, so he's still looking for... Oh no. He is still looking for... He's still looking for peace rings or ribbons, and that is a unfortunate time loss there on the Floating Continent. Yikes. Oh my god. Hey, there's our peace rings. World of Balance to Zen. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. After, like, scrapping through Inferno, getting greeted by Magimaster is just... not what you want to see, folks. I usually like going to the Floating Continent more early, but that is one of the reasons why you don't go to the Floating Continent early, because you have now just lost all of that time between the 3 battles and the boss battle, and probably more importantly, you've lost all of those levels, too. Yeah, right now with the different Espers that we have, Jexferox's Esper Fenrir does not have any spells on it. Prominence has one Esper with no spells on it and one with just OG fire. And there's a Yeti face down. I didn't see what the Tzen Thief price was here in the World of Ruin. But I do know that Prominence picked up a dragon horn in a chest. So Jax, if he still keeps on collecting checks, will eventually get that dragon horn. I think he saw boots in the in World of Balance to Zen relic shop, or did I miss that? Was it just peace rings?
Yikes.
Oh, and here's another fight you don't want with a Berserk team. So one thing you can do, I do this if I have Yeti in my party, is with Chatternook, with this phase, if you hold L and R, you can make your party run away. And that will fill up the enemy ATB bar, but it won't cause your characters to attack. Right? So it basically will allow Chatternook to get into this demon phase, and then once they do, you could let go of L and R, and you could just attack as normal. So usually I like to do that if I have Yeti in my party, so Yeti doesn't proc some of these counters that slowly eat away at your health and whatnot. So if you could run while the girl form is up, that's the way. That's a good tip and trick for this particular fight here. This one is also going to stink because Chatternook basically counters everything with some sort of lightning spell. And I think Shadow is the only one that could prevent the lightning with that Rage Ring. Oh, this will be nice, though. Little Pearl proc action. Wow, that's a lot less than I thought it was going to hit for. Jeez. Yeah, so Jexarok taking a bit more time here in the seed to look at the shops and power himself up. You kind of fall into this, win more fallacy sometimes when you do this. But in this particular flag set, I understand trying to look around at least for peace rings or ribbon shops. So. Oh, Realm hitting the deck again. Because the counter to that is, what Prominence is doing, and he's just rushing checks, and clearly it was working for a little bit when the bosses were easy, but now that the bosses are a bit tougher, it's a little harder, right? If you have Realm that is controllable, then she throws that Pearl Rod at Chatternook, and this fight is over already. Versus Locke, who's only doing maybe 1,000 damage with that Pearl Rod proc, and Chatternook probably has at least 12,000 or so HP at this point now. Meanwhile, Jax, with that peace ring on Realm, is able to uncurse the shield and still have control over Realm. Doing a couple more grind fights here. Another Pearl proc. Still not enough to defeat this boss. There it is. Shadow coming through with the clutch. Alright, so again, Realm is not going to get any XP. Locke, thankfully, will. And we'll see what we get from the Cave on the Veldt. Oh no, that's right, it's Umaro. So... Umaro's an interesting character in this flag set, because you don't have to worry about a peace ring or a ribbon for him, right? Because he's going to be berserked anyway. And Prominence now has 4 characters, whereas Jexy only has 2. So even though Jex has more levels and has better equipment, having half the amount of characters in your party just means the fights will take longer generally. Yeah, Umaro is usually good for a free snow muffler, but in this flag set, it's a little different because Umaro has great stats, and if he could you know, use a pretty good weapon, then why not keep him in your party if you're going to have berserkers anyway, right? Something like an Atma weapon on Umaro is always really nice to have. Alright, so Jexrock, meanwhile, running into his Flame Eater. He's going to use Relic, not Relic, the other thing. Runic. Runic, Relic, same thing. Runic on Realm. Try saying that 5 times fast. In order to counter anything that Flame Eater throws at us. Any fire counterattack spells. So he'll eventually get through this. It's going to take a little bit. With only one attacker here. Yeah, I think I've only brought Umaro into my final party once or twice. It's a very, very hyper rare occasion. However, this flag set is one of those rare occasions, and there's the Tiger Fangs for him as well. So, yeah, if I have this Umaro set up, I might consider bringing Umaro into my final party with me. Tiger Fangs, very high battle power weapon there. Imp running across the screen, that means that this is going to be either a high tier item or an Esper. Meanwhile, Jexrock is going to get his Kieran Esper there. That is just magic power +1 and no spells. That Realm sadly can't use. So, Nobody War. If Realm can't use a lot of the Espers in this seed, are we going to see like some weird party compositions where even though Realm has very high magic power, she's not going to be of much use? Because that would be interesting. Glue with a hypothetical question. If you saw experience eggs for Moogle Charms at the Coliseum, what would you do? Absolutely get one. The amount of time that you lose having to shuffle the Moogle Charms is made up for it by getting a character with more levels, I think anyway. I don't know if I'd do all 3. I don't know if I'd go that crazy. Alright, so that's a reset there out of Air Force. Also not a fun fight. When you have these bosses with multiple parts to them, usually you want to target the one part that you know should go down early. Alright, so we know that we're walled out at the Floating Continent. We know that Phoenix Cave is not a character, and we know that Realm's other check at Esper Mountain's not a character. So we're left with just Umaro's Cave or Kefka at Narsh. Otherwise, we're gated by Magimaster. That is disgusting. So let's hope that's not the case. For the sanity of the runners. For the sanity of the viewers, that's what we want, right? Alright, so Prominence is going to go get his Coliseum on here. Let's see. He sees the Mega Elixirs, the gem boxes, anything else that's different. Oh, Heal Rod for an experience egg. There's a jackpot. And we could buy Heal Rods, too. The question is, do you remember where those Heal Rods were? There we go. Umaro in the Coliseum with your experience egg. Very nice. So let's see what else Prominence decides to get here. Meanwhile, Jexrock is going to be very happy that he's going to be getting a character at the end of this. Thanks for the heal, lady. Yeah, Jexarox's fights are going to take a little longer, especially if he's just using Realm for Runic and not much else. I mean, it's understandable, because Realm is not really doing much right now for us. Behemoth suit as well. So that's a good piece of gear for Realm if we ever find something for her to do. Because right now she's not doing much of anything. All three of the Espers that we've found so far in this seed, between our two runners, Realm hasn't been able to use any of them. It looks like Prominence is going to show us that top of Narsh play here. Oh, don't do that, Jexy. Gonna try and crack the Pearl Rod on Narappa. I don't think this is gonna work. But I might be pleasantly surprised. I never really know Narappa's elemental weaknesses. I know that they do have them. Okay. Pearl Rod is okay. Let's see. Fire is Absorb. Ice, Thunder, and Pearl are weak. And then Water, Wind, Earth, and Poison is Nullify. So Ice, Thunder, and Pearl is okay for Narappa. Fire is Absorb. I knew that. And the rest is just no effect. Alright, and we have our Shadow there for Jexarox. So that's his third character. Shadow with Blitz. And since Jexarox... Oh, he's going to go Boots and Horn and Pearl Lance. Yeah, so in this particular flag set, Espers are only equipable by a random subset of characters. So not every character can equip every Esper. So Locke and Shadow can equip the Espers, but Realm cannot equip the ones we have. And each Esper has a different character equipable status, right? So essentially in this so far, Locke and Shadow can equip Kieran, Realm can't. That's not to say that Realm isn't able to equip some other Esper we get at some point in the future. Like I said, I kind of like that setting because it allows you to think about your party in more interesting ways, because you can't just fall back on, hey, I could teach this person magic if I've got nothing else for them to do. Jack's getting his third Esper there, Carbuncle, at Gal Manor. And meanwhile, there's a blue Durgan here. So looking to get some more levels, and more importantly, getting one step closer to getting that ribbon reward. Remember, 2 dragons you get a ribbon, and 3 dragons you get plus 20 strength. Let's hope that he can kill off this blue dragon before Locke keels over and dies. Oh, clutch Pearl proc. Come on, Locke. Let's see it here. And Jexarox is going to run into the unfortunate problem that Prominence ran into earlier in the seed. So this is going to be a several minute time loss here. And there we go. Blue Durgan is down, but so is Locke, unfortunately. So Locke will not get XP for this fight. I think this is like the second or third time that one of his characters did not get any XP for a fight. So we'll have to see how that influences Prominence's routing a little bit later on in the seed. Putting the experience egg on the Yeti, that's a bold strategy there, Cotton. See,
I like this kid.
I would have put it on Shadow, the Blitz user, personally, right?
For sure.
Get the bum rush faster, but we don't have ribbons yet, you know? So it's not like...
I think he's the highest level out of the group. Oh, no, Shadow's 19.
Yeah.
He's 18. He's just not that far behind, though.
Yeah, I don't hate the play, but, you know, Umaro is also going to be pretty tanky, like I said, with that Snow Muffler and those Tiger Fangs. And it is our boy Ultros here at the Tritox spot. So this is only going to reward us with an Esper or an item. And there goes down Uncle Ulti. All the party members getting some XP there. And here's our Inferno fight for Jexvarok. It's an economizer for prominence, which is kind of useless in this flag set, especially right now, when we have our Espers that have... 3 Espers collectively have 1 spell. That's a feels bad moment. Yeah, so here's that Inferno fight. Jex's offense is a lot better, but it's not enough to get past Magimaster at this moment. I don't even know what you could do. What could you do? Oh god, Blowfish. Yick. Down goes Realm. And she's not going to get back up, because his other 2 characters are berserked. Oh, and there is another character here with Celeste. Okay, so far, we can avoid Magimaster. And we've gotten some pretty easy bosses here, which worries me. Well, that's not true. We've had Inferno and Magimaster in the Floating Continent. So, other than those 2, we've had some easy bosses so far. Alright, so here comes the big question is, does Prominence swap out Realm for Celeste? Because remember, Realm is not able to equip any of the Espers that he's got. So we'll see what the strategy is here. GP Rain and Natural Magic. Yeah, I think I would throw Celeste in for Realm here. Or maybe even Locke. Because that's the thing, right? Like, with Natural Magic, we at least know that Celeste is going to be able to learn some spells. They might not be the ones we want, but they'll be the ones that we need? I don't know. And it looks like, yeah, so he is going to put Celeste in the main... Nope, he's not going to put Celeste in the main party. I lied, and Jexvarok has just lost his 8 minutes there. Running into Magimaster. Feels bad. F's in the chat if you got him. Alright, so Prominence here is diving into Phoenix Cave. I like this because this means that he's going to take that second dragon, I believe. Meanwhile, Jex is going to find his Yeti. Yeah, it's been pretty slow going thus far in this seed. You know, with a 2-character start and having berserked characters, usually physical offense is not nearly as good as magic offense early on in the seed. And we haven't really had any magic offense at all. We do have access to Blitz from Shadow, but Jexvarok has decided to do Boots Horn Pearl Lance on his Shadow, and Prominence has decided Tiger Fang's Offering for his Shadow. Another Snow Muffler. So we've seen some decent items in chests, but let's see if we can get a count on how many chests Prominence has already opened up here.
70, it looks like.
Okay, 70
Jex
not
is at
terrible.
50.
Yeah, 70 is not terrible. I thought it was a lot more. Because yeah, anything. I don't know about you, but my average is normally, 70, 80 at the very most. Usually I'm 70 or under.
Yeah, I pretty much do everything.
Which coincidentally is
very
how
specifically,
I like my women.
though. You know.
70 and under. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is going to stink for Jax because he's got the Pearl Lance on Shadow. So here's the example of the runaway strat. The problem is with a jumper, you can go at any time. So he basically held locks ATB up until the switch from the girl form to the demon form there. All right, now that we've got the demon form, the Pearl Lance will put in some work. And it looks like, I think Prominence forgot to open up the path for his other party. Yep, we got to go up here and do that first. All right, it doesn't look like he's going to take the dragon here, which is a bit surprising. Because normally with Phoenix Cave, you have to split up your party, right? So most people don't take the dragon because their party is going to be split. However, Prominence already has 5 characters, so this would allow him to take his full party against this dragon here. Okay, maybe he is doing it. He's at 1 HP, though, so he's going to have to heal himself up. I think what he wanted to do, which he can't do now, is he's got to go back to the save point, and he's got to use both parties for that. All right, so it looks like Chad is down for Jexvarok, so he's going to get his Yeti. So you can do like a sleeping bag or party tent glitch in Phoenix Cave. It's one of the allowable glitches, I guess you would... Can you even call it a glitch? I guess it is. Where if one team stands on a save point, the other team is allowed to use tents and sleeping bags. If you don't move off the save point, you just press the Y button. There's the heal rod for Jexvarok, so I don't think he's going to go back to the Coliseum, but if he does, that's where he can get his experience egg. Alright. Now it's time for the dragon. Fight me, bro. Let's see what we got here. It's a Storm Durgan. Shadow doing a cool 2,000 damage. That's the power of the offering there. Alright, and Jex is deciding to go right for Yeti Cave. So this is good for him. This will put him back on track after spending a lot of time early on in the seed grinding for levels and just taking that unfortunate path on the floating continent. Alright, Pearl Proc coming out from this Pearl Rod hit. And there it is, another dragon down. So this means Prominence will get a ribbon for his troubles. The question is, Nobody War, who do we put the ribbon on here?
Oh.
Oh,
It all depends on who can equip that.
Well, I don't know. I just think you just leave the person who equips the Auto-Bserk, right?
Maybe. I was going to say if Realm could use it, but...
Yeah. Yeah, so that Illumina is nice, and that would encourage me now, especially... Well, maybe not. But definitely swap out Celeste for Realm. Or definitely swap in Celeste here.
Yeah.
As Prominence is going to pick up his third Esper.
Jax.
Give Yeti the big stick. So the problem with the Illumina and Umaro is that Umaro can never crit or proc the 2 times damage because Umaro can't earn magic points. The same reason why they can't uncurse the shield, basically. So it looks like Prominence is swapping out Realm for Celeste here. Yeah, so you're better off using an Illumina on basically any other character. Same thing with the Ragnarok. You can still get the Pearl procs, but you won't get the double damage crit for every time you swing it. And it is Tritok at the South Figaro prisoner spot, so that's the 4th Esper for Prominence. And for Jex, that is his first dragon down. And that's Ice 3 on that Tritok, and Celeste can equip that. So that is a huge swap there, taking out Realm for that Tritok Esper. All right, so Jax is on his way to get his Celeste. Gonna get this dead check economizer here at the top of Narsh. I also might be completely wrong on that fact. I'm pretty sure that I'm right, though, that Illumina 2 damage crit doesn't happen with Umaro or Gogo. You can still get the Pearl or the Flare spell, the spell proc, but not the 2 times damage. I don't know. We'll have to test it. How's that? Although, like I said, I'm pretty sure that I remember that correctly. All right, and here comes big, thick Celeste stomping down the stairs. And there goes Tunnel Armor. See you later. So we'll see for Jexvarok what he decides to do with his party. Because he already went through the Phoenix Cave. So he took down the top of Narsh Dragon, but he can still get another dragon pretty easily with whatchamacallit, the Opera House Dragon. But the other one in a check, he already did. And it looks like he's swapping out Umaro, so say goodbye to the Yeti, folks. That makes more sense for Jexvarok, because he has found the Peace Rings, rather than having to fight for a ribbon. And he second-guesses his decision. Yeti's back in, and the peasants rejoice.
Love to see it.
Yeti is back, folks. So I know the Drinks Glue said unfollow Jex. Now you can go ahead and follow him again. Yeah, I think in this flag set, it makes sense to keep Umaro in with the Tiger Fangs. Although, I mean, yeah, if Realm could actually equip some of these Espers, I would make a different case. But Realm is kind of useless right now, you know? And unfortunately, Jexvarok is not going to get that Illumina, right? That was the drop from the Dragon in Phoenix Cave. So...
Yep.
Yeah, he's just not going to get that. He will, however, get whatever reward this is from this dragon here. Prominence, meanwhile, heading into the Magitek factory, he has the option of going through all of it. And remember, we do have a skip at 9 characters and 12 bosses, so this check here gives us 3... Nope, that's wrong. Gives us 4 bosses. I told you math is hard. So yeah, let's see. How many bosses has he killed already? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Yeah, I got 5.
Yeah, and then Jexvarok is at 1, 2, 3, 3. Yep.
Yep.
So we still got a long way to go. And in case you missed it, because I almost just did, that was Ultros 2 from Ultros. Unicorn Esper. So that's another one there for prominence. Oh, Strength +2. Yes. Let's go. Yeah, I really like the random equipable Esper's flag for this very reason, right? It allows more variety and thought in party composition. But that's just me, I'm a nerd. All right, and hey, it's, yeah, there we go. Haven't we done this before? It is the Rappa. So this will not be Prominence's 6th boss, right? This will still be his 5th boss, because this is not a unique boss.
I didn't see what happened with Jax. Did he reset somewhere? Because he's doing all this again.
Oh my god, did he? Oh yeah. He must have. I didn't see it. Oh, that's right. He went to the Opera House Dragon.
Oh, that's
and
right.
The White Dragon.
Save. Oh, Jax.
Yeah. Save after every check and only menu when you save. Those are my 2 biggest hints for beginners there. All right. So speaking of, we've got another beginning of a minecart ride here. That was a 6th Esper, by the way, for prominence from that other check. It is Golem. So we've got the Calmness duo here. Ooh, overwriting that save is a risky play. Because once you're down here, you can never go back. You only got to go forward. Golem with no bonuses and no spells on it. Just here for Calmness protection tonight. Alright, so Jex has Celeste again. So we'll put her back on the board for him. And a little bit of a time loss, but thankfully those bosses weren't too bad. That was what, Tunnel Armor, and what was the other one?
Ultros 1.
Yeah. So it was nothing. Alright, minecart ride here for prominence. This is the 3rd part of the Magitek factory. We get 3 forced encounters and then 2 bosses. We do get a story heal in between boss 1 and boss 2. Yeah, Golem is usually the MVP, and this seed he'll only be used for for Calmness protection, and that's it. Alright, so hopefully Jexvarok equipped the right weapon this time. before doing this fight. Leg cramps are certainly no fun. Well, we'll question Pearl, and he did not hit the jackpot there. Alright, going to use Runic with Realm here to make sure that our characters don't get hit with a Pearl counter. And it doesn't matter, because that dragon's dead already. Alright, that's the second dragon here for Jexvarok, and that means he's going to get his ribbon. Oh, another Illumina. Yahtzee. CC Runner with a good piece of medical advice for drinks glue. Drink more water, drink less glue. There we go. Yeah, so that big beefy Illumina sword is in the opera. Dragon's dropping some good stuff here. So knowing what I know now, that the Phoenix Cave Dragon dropped an Illumina, it's just unlucky that Jex went there early and wasn't able to get that later on in the seed. Meanwhile, the boss that I have personal beef with is Doom at the end of the first part of the minecart ride. Thankfully, Shadow, with his offering, will get around the second phase of the image status. Umaro's body slam will also get around that, and since Illuminas never miss, that will also get around it. So this boss won't be a problem here for Prominence. You might be thinking about using the Pearl Rod too. Some decent spells that that Celeste has as well. I think that Bolt 3 is natural magic. Unless it was on one of the Espers that he just got from the front of the Magitek factory. And you hate to see it happen. Nullifying Pearl, getting Pearl proc. Alright, so Jex is following Prominence into the Magitek factory here. So, in spite of all the setbacks, Jexvarok is just a couple of checks behind here. And that's another unique boss for Prominence down. Yeah, look at the levels on his characters. Wow. Alright, let's see what this last boss is. And more importantly, what's this reward? Oh, it's our sword slinger. The Samurai Cyan with sword tech. Unfortunately, you do not get all 8 of them for completing Cyan's dream. Hey, it's a Vanilla Cranes. This is not something you see very often here, huh? Jexvarok getting their 4th Esper. With Unicorn. I'm hoping for his sake that Realm could actually use some of these Espers that he's picking up. There it is. Cranes are down for Prominence, picking up a new character with Cyan. So that opens up a bunch of more options for him. Doma Siege, Mount Zozo, where he can get his 3rd dragon for plus 20 strength. And Cyan's Dream. Looks like first, though, on the docket is going to Doma Siege, since he already is in the World of Balance here. Let's see if we find a character. We'll see it right away. And there it is. It's Edgar. So that is character number 7 for prominence here. He just needs to get a couple more Espers, and hey, I'm having a bit of deja vu, Nobody War. What is going on here?
I see it.
Didn't we just kill this boss?
That's funny.
It's amazing. I don't think I've ever seen this where you get the same boss twice in a row. I guess you could do it, right, for minecart ride and then at the end too. Niles and Frazier the reboot. Alright. Thankfully, that's a pretty easy boss, and also gives 20 MP per time you kill it. The problem is it's not a unique boss, so we're not getting towards our skip. We do have 7 characters, though, so 9 is definitely within reach. And here's a cheeky little play. We're going to go into the castle for some treasure. Oh, there's a leather armor. Wasn't that an ice shield from the Coliseum? I think it was.
I believe so. I don't remember what the egg was.
That was the heal rod.
Ah, that's right.
I was waxing poetic about the heal rod curse shield strat. Yeah, Doma Castle has seen some better days, so the cranes were doing some restoration work, apparently. Thank you, Underlig. A little bit of lore there to the Worlds Collide match. And it looks like we're going to hit up Figaro. Let's see what's on the throne. And Prominence's levels are already high. I'm fine with him taking these free checks here. Normally, the downside of free checks is, you don't gain the levels that you would have otherwise. But I think his Yeti is like 40-something, and the rest of his party's in the mid-30s. Which is totally fine for having to get 3 more Espers. Meanwhile, it's the Doom fight over here for Jexy. Interesting how different the party compositions are here. We still have Yeti and Locke doing the same thing for both parties, but a Jumping Shadow and a Defense Realm with a Magic Casting Celeste for Prominence and a Claw Shadow. That is another Esper Crusader, so that's number 7 for Prominence.
Do you remember why he noped out of Esper Mountain earlier?
He
was
couldn't
it dead?
beat the boss.
Oh, okay.
No, he couldn't beat the boss.
It was
Who
what?
Was the
it was.
Boss? Was it Chad? No, that was in South Figaro Cave.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It was some boss that he couldn't beat.
You might be going there now. Oh.
Who the hell was it? I'm trying to remember now.
Inferno?
No, that was Floating Continent.
Right. It could have been a repeat, though.
I have PTSD of that Floating Continent. There are the peace rings there.
You heard? It might have been a repeat.
That's true. That's true. I didn't even think about that.
I could be wrong, though.
62k for that glowing stone. So Zen Thief does have an Esper, so Prominence just needs to find one more, and then he could buy his Zen Thief for his way out. Meanwhile, that is Jex's 6th character with Cyan, and he's at 5 Espers, I believe, because he got one from Magitek 2. Oh, darn. Who is the boss there? I'm trying to think. Not much cheaper there in the World of Ruin.
Sell some sleeping bags. It'd be fine.
Flip those those sleeping bags into gem boxes and sell it. Who was that first boss? Well, Jex might show us Esper Mountain in a bit. And that is Esper number 8 there. I think Jex is also going to buy it too. He's got enough money. It looks like we're going Mount Zozo. Think. Who are the bosses in this game? Baba? No. Yeah, I don't remember who it was. I think I could cheat, though. Let's see. Let's see if I can cheat and find this out.
Jax might be offline. Hold on.
Yeah, he just came back. So usually Twitch records like the current video alongside of what's going on.
Right.
But that's not the case here.
You can't scroll back.
No.
I thought you were going to load the seat up and just go
Oh,
there.
no, I'm not gonna do that either.
There he is.
Alright, we got a sync Mount Zozo play here? I think we do. Oh, Drinks Glue remembers. Yes, a hint would be great. Alright, Dirt Durgan. Another dragon we really don't want to see. So this will be interesting because they're both fighting the same the same enemy at basically the same time. So we'll see which group gets through faster. It looks like the answer to that question is Jexarok. So that might be because Jex's dragon is a lot weaker because he only has 6 characters and 5 Espers at this point. Alright, the hint was Offering Claw and Pearl Rod. And then it has to have been Chatternock then. The Chad. Thunder Shield from the boss there. And then there's unfortunately a dead check here at the end of Mount Zozo. See if it's anything decent. Another Ice Shield. Okay, game. So we have all the elemental protection that we need. We just need Espers. Alright, well, Jexarok is going to show us here. The good lad that he is. Alright, so Prominence just needs one more Esper here. He's got a lot of different checks open, and it looks like he's going back for that revenge at Esper Mountain. So another simultaneous Esper Mountain play. Oh, okay. I know what boss it is. It is Air Force. Yeah, the offering doesn't help because there's multiple parts here, and the Pearl Rod doesn't really do much against, well, I mean, it still is a decent spell, but you'd rather have other stuff. There it is, my least favorite boss in the entire game. Jex Rocks just completely manhandles him here. Let's see. Is this going to be our 7th Esper for Jex and our Go mode for Prominence? Find out right here in just a second. And there it is. So Ramu is the reward. Jex still needs to find another character. Oh, there's Berserk. Wow, could you imagine if we defeated Air Force at the very beginning of the game, learned Berserk, and then went up to Floating Continent? We could have had it for Magimaster, and this would have been a completely different siege. That's so interesting.
The game never steers you wrong. I've learned that.
Yeah. Alright, so Jack is going to go for the power play here of hoping for 1 character and 2 Espers in Cyan's Dream. Alright. Unlocking final Kefka objective complete. So I think Prominence has the levels to do it. I would just go into Kefka's Tower here. And honestly, a Kefka Tower unlock at 117 for this flag set is pretty darn good. Oh, here's our second Inferno of the seed. It's a bit of a yuck. Getting a heal here. So for those that don't know, you actually get a an HP refill when you drop into Kefka's Tower. You don't get an MP refill. So if you need magic points, or not magic points, MP, you go ahead and you talk to that guy to refill your MP. But for just HP, you get it automatically when you select your party at Kefka's Tower. Wonder what he's looking for here. Going to a few shops. He noticed he was low on something when he was in his inventory. Meanwhile, Jax takes down Inferno there for the first spot in Cyan's Dream. This is a new check for us. Stray as the Esper. Fire 3. Cure 2. And Doom. So that's a pretty good one that Realm can use. All right, Prominence grabbing a couple of ribbons there. Just wants to have control over some of his other characters, which makes sense. The Berserk attribute does give you, I believe it gives you some increased strength. Or not increased strength, increased damage to your physical attackers. Let's look that up before I lie to you. Because we all know I never lie to the audience. Let's see here. Alright, so it's not a character here at the second part of Cyan's Dream, because that is a ghost. That's rather unfortunate. Yeah, so Berserk will deal an extra 50% damage with physical attacks. So that's what you're trading to have control of your character. All right, into Kefka's Tower, 120.45 for prominence. Meanwhile, Jexfarok is going to have to find his 7th character somewhere else because he's not in Cyan's Dream. Oh boy. And it is Goddess here, which is not fun for our our Pearl Lance user. This fight should be over pretty fast, though, if we don't get any Pearl procs. Uh-oh. Love token unlock. Hopefully Realm kills Goddess with this flare. Lunar Chimera coming in with a party. Thank you very much, Lunar Chimera, for the raid. One of the participants in yesterday's race. That was on Speed Gaming 5. And there it is. Jack's getting past Goddess. Always a fun fight when you have a team full of Berserkers. So that's definitely a Magicite there. That's Madeline. So that is number 9 for him. Let's see if he even bothers to check the throne. And it is another Magicite, so he's up to 10 there. The skip in this flag set is 9 characters and 12 unique bosses, so unfortunately, that extra Esper isn't really going to help him, unless Realm could actually learn a spell off of it. Yeah, I think I'm going to do one of my asyncs after this race. Might finish up some laundry first. I've done 2 out of the 5 this week, so hoping to get all 5 in. Oh no! Ugh. Magimaster number 2 at the Inferno spot. So we do have Berserk. The question is, can one of our characters in this party learn Berserk? That is the question. We did get Berserk from that Esper at Esper Mountain. Meanwhile, Jexfarok getting his go mode there with Edgar at Doma Siege. So he's actually going to be in the tower right behind Prominence. Looks like he's just going to get a few things for the time being. Yeah, so we gotta learn Berserk on one of our characters before we hit up this Magimaster fight. It doesn't matter what equipment you have on. You can't beat Magimaster unless you Berserk him, basically. Because there's nothing else that we've gotten in this seed, besides the Flare spell, GP Rain maybe, and Pummel with Blitz, that can actually damage Magimaster at this point. So let's see what Prominence decides to do here. He's got to learn Berserk, which is on Ramu. So Edgar can't equip that. Or maybe it's not on Ramu. It's on one of the Espers. Yeah, Magimaster has such high physical defense that just hitting him with an Illumina is not going to do much. As you saw, only 140 damage there. So here's a question, Nobody War. You see Magimaster here. Do you try to go for skip so you don't have to fight this fight at all?
That might be a good idea. I think it would. I don't know what his boss count was at, but and he did. Yeah, you don't want to go. I mean, where's quick bosses though that you can do anymore? He doesn't really have anything except.
I mean, he's got Dream, which is 2 bosses.
Oh, true. Yeah, he has Dream and Edgar's checks.
Edgar's checks are not fast.
Yeah.
There's Toilet Atma. That's a boss, right? What else could he do? He can do Kefka Narsh. It's also a boss.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm just looking at his tracker and just throwing out things. You could actually do Fanatic's Tower and kill the boss. You don't have to have Strago to do that. That's also not fast. Yeah, so here we go.
5.
Yeah, so the other thing is we could use Yeti and hope he body slams.
He only needs 1 more, right? It's 12. He's at 11.
Are you sure he's at 11?
There's 4 in MTech.
Yeah, but there were repeat bosses.
Oh, that's right. So he's probably at 10.
Part of the problem.
Yeah, he's
probably at like 9 or 10.
9 or 10, yeah.
An interesting conundrum for sure.
Yeah, that's it. That is interesting. I would go look for some bosses, honestly. Or I would probably remember that I have Berserk on an Esper.
If you didn't have... Yeah, I mean, that's the first thing you check is, do I have Berserk on any of my Espers? Alright, so let's see how Jexy deals with this problem, because he's going to run into the same thing. We thought we could escape Magimaster, folks, and unfortunately, the Seed just said no. You must fight Magimaster. Actually, that's not even true. Like you know, me and Nobody were talking about. We could potentially get the skip and not have to do this. However, there are still there's still 4 more boss spots in KT, so we might not get out of this after all. Yeah, Jex is going to be in a rude awakening when he gets to Inferno here. Looks like Prominence decided I'm going to take my whole team into this situation, which is a good start. The thing is, he's got a Berserk Magimaster, because Magimaster's physical defense is so high that the only possible way that you could kill him is through defense ignoring attacks. So that's like Umaro's body slam, or if Umaro throws something in. And yeah, the bad news, Jexy gets it too. And yeah, this is just... He's got to figure out another way. I mean, this, if he was to do this, it would take forever. Yeah, so Magimaster with the wall change, he basically will absorb one element, is weak to another different element, and nullifies the other 6. So even if we do get a Pearl proc, there's a chance that it'll heal him. More than likely, there's a chance that he'll just shrug it off. And there's an even smaller chance that it'll actually hurt him. So it looks like Jex is going to warp out of the tower as well and reform. So the trick with Magimaster is you want to hit him with your highest damage spell first, before the wall change. And then after the wall change, you're going to be stuck with defense ignoring things. Umaro coming out strong with a first strong play. Regular dice. Oh my god. The hero play here. I have never seen this before. This is incredible. This is the first time I've ever seen somebody use regular dice. This is Galaxy Brain play here. So regular dice is fixed dice, but nowhere near as good. Because fixed dice has 3 of them. So if you roll the same thing, you get, a humongous multiplier. Regular dice, you get less of a multiplier, obviously, because there's only 2 of them.
Throwing
oh my god, double 6s. I feel like I'm in high school again playing CeeLo against Magimaster.
I think Umaro has this.
Alright. This is an incredible idea. This is better than Berserk. Although that's going to hurt a lot. Yep. Yeah, so as I mentioned, Umaro's body slam there, putting in the work. Shadow does have pummel, right? So that it will ignore defense. And Celeste has GP Rain, which also ignores defense. So we've got some attacks that will work here. This is one of the more interesting big brain plays I've ever seen with having to deal with Magimaster. And there he goes! Wow! That is amazing. So make sure you run back to that save point and then warp out and split your party.
That's 3. If he was at 9, if he clears this full middle, that's a smart play.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, he's not using the newer tracker. He's using one of the older trackers, and it doesn't show the boss count for us. And with the repeat bosses, I haven't been counting. So
yeah, no one gives the tracker screen in-game love either.
The track screen is great, but it takes time to do that, so. All right, so this is going to be the 3rd dragon for prominence. I actually like this as well, because now he's going to get his plus 20 strength. And it looks like for Jex, the play is Hope Umaro body slams and use flare. Yeah. I think Jex Frock also uncursed the Paladin shield, so he's probably got the Paladin, maybe not. Thought he maybe had the Paladin shield on Realm. I use the track menu a lot more when I play multi-world, because, I'm not playing the seed in one sitting, So you constantly have to go back to it. Alright, that's a gold dragon down there. Oh, Jax, did you not see you had Berserk learned? He didn't see it. I don't think he saw it. Oof. You scroll right past it, too. No, I'll go back down. We're trying to will Jex to do the right thing here. Yeah, I wonder if he clears... If Prominence just... He looks like he's just going to clear out the middle here and not warp out. So maybe he might get skip. And there's Magimaster down as well for Jex. Alright, so we got a race here. Jex a little further behind, but not by much. Because actually he might even be ahead because he already moved these parties. And he's not going to have to come back out of the tower and back in. Although his bosses will be a lot slower, right? Because he doesn't have his full party. Yeah, so it's time to start biting those nails, folks. Yeah, because Jex's party is already on the switches there. Man, what a crazy race. Using regular dice to beat Maju. That is a first for me. That is the first time I've ever seen that. Alright, so switch is down at 135.35, so we'll get a real difference as to how far runners are apart here when Edgar heads up to put the switch down. It looks like we got,
It's about 30 seconds.
30-second difference. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. After all that. So as I mentioned, Prominence has overloaded his middle party, so he's going to have to come back into Kefka's Tower at some point. It just depends on if he's coming into the statue skip, or if he's coming in.
The bosses though too, if he wants it.
That's true. That is true. And here's another repeat boss, another Ultros one. Thankfully, it's an easy repeat and not Inferno or Magimaster. Yeah, that's unfortunate. As you just said, that's unfortunate for Prominence. You want difficult bosses here on this track, because then that gives you more time and gives Jex less time. Oh, and it's Dataluma. Another easy boss. Yeah, this boss will go away rather fast here on Jex's screen. Drinks Glue with a question: what do we think of egg sharing in the tower? It's a terrible idea. In Kefka's Tower, my party is at its weakest form, so I want all of the help I can get in the form of relics to help boost damage. Yeah, you'll get some levels in Kefka's Tower, but the main point of Kefka's Tower is to beat the bosses that are there. It's not for gaining levels. I don't know, what do you think, Nobody More?
Yeah, I'm usually too focused on getting to the end at that point.
Yeah. Well,
if you have somebody that's weak, maybe throw it on them and take a dragon fight, but...
Hey, it's another... Oh no, this is the third Narapa of the seed. Yeah, I mean, the only reason I'm ever using an experience egg is if I have no other relic for a character. Alright, so that Ultros is quite unfortunate, because that is a repeat boss. I wonder if Prominence is going to get his Kefka Tower skip here. We'll see what the messages say. Oh, I don't think he got it.
It would have been fight, right?
Yeah, so that's always the risk of counting bosses here in Kefka's Tower when you don't have access to the skip. I mean, he could just go back in and gamble on Atma and see, but that's a bunch of shenanigans. So now the interesting thing is he's going to have to remember that his party number 1 and party number 2 is where he wants to put his good characters. And he does do that. And then put some trash with them to take the Moogle Charms. Perfect. And that is your party's composition set up. Meanwhile, Fenrir going on to Realm as Jexfarok prepares his party for Final Kefka. So he's got 3 of the 4 boss gauntlet bosses down. Taking off that Paladin shield just in case. Interesting thing about Jump and Berserk. So Berserk will choose Fight even if you have Dragoon Boots on sometimes. So there's not a guarantee that Shadow will be jumping. And it looks like Jex is going to make sure that he's got a non-Pearl Elemental weapon, because if this boss is, let's say, Goddess or Rexol or anything else that absorbs Pearl, he's basically going to have to start this fight over again. Thankfully, it's not. It's just Vargas and the Apple Toilets. Celeste hitting the deck there. So, while we had a rude Kefka Tower 1 spot, the rest of these bosses have been pretty straightforward and pretty easy. Prominence, unfortunately, overloaded the party and is having to walk back through the tower here, so he's going to give up a lot of time to Jexvarok. What the heck weapon is that that's doing 9,000 damage a swing? That's pretty insane. Was it a man-eater, maybe? Because Vargas is considered a human target, and human targets, the man-eater, take twice as much damage. So that would make sense as to what that weapon was. Let's see. Yep, man-eater. Perfect. It's almost as if I knew what I was talking about. Crazy, huh? Oh, no. Thankfully, we do have one character that is not berserked and that can smoke bomb us out of here. Or we just win the fight. And it's not really a problem. Jexvarok stepping on the switches 142.05. Yeah, a lot of the enemies in towns and things like that are considered human targets, and then the ones that are out in the wild, they're usually the actual animals or demons, depending upon if they're in the world of balance or world of ruin. I think it's really cool how they designed the enemies in this particular game to match like the setting of what's going on, right? Like in the world of balance, all the enemy mobs are kind of just like the animals that you would find along the way, kind of like hunter-gatherer type deal. Whereas in the world of ruin, because Kefka broke the seal on magic, there's all these undead things and demons and nasty things that you can encounter. So I think that's interesting how they did that. All right, Jex is on to tier 1 here. And we do have both Golem and Fenrir, so it looks like he's going to put out Golem here on tier 1. Alright, we do have access to both Break and Doom, so that'll get rid of that long arm, assuming this spell connects. There we go. See you later. So the only real big worry here is if we get a death counter from Head, because remember, 2 of our 4 party members here are berserked, which means they can't target the Head. And if we leave the Head to be the last alive, we get a Quake death counter. So I'm wondering if we've got, maybe a... if we had access to float, now would be a good time to use that. So a bit of a lore question from Drinks Glue. Do you think the legendary mage that defeats Odin in the battle at the ancient castle is Magimaster? That is an interesting theory. I think the sprite is similar, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Tursman just says they do have the same sprite. So that's interesting. I never thought about that. I mean, it would make sense. This Magimaster, as we've seen this stream, is pretty difficult to beat. I think number 24 was an experiment that they tried to create a machine that was like Magimaster. And because he does have a wall change mechanic on him if you get into enough fights, but then he also has like this program error sort of script in his battle that makes him heal himself. And, overflow is a common error in computer science. So I think that's how it is. Even though the sprites are the same in battle, the sprites on the on the overworld map are slightly different. All right. Meanwhile, Jexvarok is on to tier 2, and we do have some ice baby for the tiger. We already got rid of tools here. I don't think we had access to mute for magic. Yeah, there's Bolt 3 coming out, so we definitely didn't have access to mute for Magic. Alright, so that's Tiger dead for Jax, so we're down to just Hit Guy and Magic. There you see the power of the Man-Eater from Shadow, doing almost 8,000 damage on these human targets on Tier 2. Tier 3, also human targets, and I don't know if Kefka is considered a human target in the final form or not.
He is.
Okay. So he'll also get increased damage. 10 hits coming out, doing 1 damage to Yeti. So that's one of the reasons why you keep Yeti in the party, right? Is a huge defense that you have there.
Throw a True Knight on him. He's the real boss.
So it looks like Prominence screwed up his party alignment, because he's unfortunately sending a solo realm against Narapa. I think what happened was he zigged when he should have zagged at the switches.
Let her equip the Illumina. She might be all right.
I mean, thankfully Narapa is a pretty easy boss. Does not have access to the Illumina. Yeah, it's gonna be a rough
Club
fight.
offering.
Yeah, so there's nothing really he could do here. He's gonna have to warp out and come back to the tower again, and make sure he remembers what party is what this time. Unless he just wants to learn some spells on Realm real fast. Yeah, so if you come into with party 1 and 2, it means when you go and flick the first switch, your party member has to go left, and his party member went right. So he zigged when he should have zagged. ×1 rate for that Ice 3, so we could learn that. It'll take a little bit, though. While all of this is happening, Jexvarok getting through his Tier 3 fight. This is also another one that can get pretty sketchy with having 2 characters berserked, because you want to kill Girl before you kill Sleep. From there, it looks like that's Girl dead, and here comes the Man-Eater for Sleep, and we are now down under 10,000 HP, because that is Train. We'll shrug this Meteo off, and Locke will be able to connect with the Illumina. If Yeti doesn't. Oh, that's a lucky no counterattack there. Otherwise, Realm would have been in trouble. Casted Fenrir for Calmness, and that is Tier 3 down for Jexvarok, as he's heading up to Final Kefka. Alright, so now this is another situation where, again, if you don't have control over your characters, things can get real dicey real fast. Kefka will counterattack if he's under 30,000 HP. Yeah, Prominence is trying to figure out how to get his realm off of that lane, and I don't think you can. I know you can go back and fight the dragons with the middle party, but I don't think you can switch lanes once you've locked them in. Looks like Jack's employing the runaway strat so that he doesn't proc a counterattack before he can throw down the, whatchamacallit, the Mega Elixir. Okay, this is going to get interesting, because Goner is going to go off, Realm is definitely going to die, Shadow might die. So we'll just have to see what happens here. Yeah, so here comes Goner. Thankfully, Locke is actually able to use some equipment and stuff. He's just going to go for it, though. I didn't see how much damage he did. Alright, so Shadow is still up, which is good. Now we're getting to Ultima counter territory, so this is a bit dicey, but no ultimate counter and gets the crack pow. GG's, Jaxfarok. Excellent job on your run. Official time of 150.57.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So, Dragon's Neck. This is the flag set where your characters are all berserked, and you took a bit of time in the opener to go look around in shops to find something to mitigate the berserk. Oh, I know what Prominence is doing. He's got no more warp stones, so he has to learn the spell. That's not fun. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. Your strategy for this: go around and find some peace rings or ribbons.
Actually, I was not looking for peace rings or ribbons.
All right. Well, what were you looking for then? Give us a little insight.
Weapons. I was looking for like Valiant Knife, Atma weapon, or sniper. Something to go with that offering early game.
Yeah, we unfortunately didn't find it.
Yeah, I was stuck, using Doom darts, which they're okay. They're not great.
Yeah, at least you could back row your character, right?
I would have even taken Hawkeye. Seriously. Hawkeye with Berserk actually works.
Yeah.
And then if you get the plus 20 strength, Hawkeye is actually really good.
Yeah, for sure.
So the idea, because I had that plus 2 speed Fenrir, which I was debating literally just letting Locke go nuts on Final Kefka.
Yeah.
And not give him the peace ring and just like give him an Atlas armlet, give him beads, and just let him go nuts on Final Kefka, because he would have.
Yep.
It would have been hilarious, in my opinion.
Yeah, but then you also run the risk, you then only have one character that you can control, right?
Oh, yes, that is true. I would have just kept Realm around as a healer and, get up that the Fenrir or Golem, at the right moment if I ever needed to.
Yeah, that's
probably.
No, go ahead.
I feel like I probably could have gotten away with Final Kefka with just Locke and Realm. That's how confident I was with those two.
Yeah, it was interesting because early game Realm was kind of useless, not being able to equip a lot of the Espers until we got them later on. So we found Celeste in Yeti Cave, and you decided to stick with Realm anyway. Were you just hoping that at some point she would find an Esper that she could actually use?
Yeah, pretty much. On top of it, because we are playing with Berserk, even though I had all the elemental protections and all that fun stuff, having access to Runic would actually be kind of helpful. And I was using it, it just never came up.
No. It was rather unfortunate, yeah.
Like, I ended up against Chatternook, and I was just like, oh, perfect, he likes to cast lightning. Cool, Runic. Nothing. Here, have Flash Rain. Have a nice day. Really?
Here's a Bolt Edge, here's a Plasma, here's stuff you can't Runic, yeah.
Yeah. White Dragon. I popped Runic, and it was useless.
Yeah.
Oh, I was happy.
Well, the White Dragon did give you a bit of a hiccup there where you had to reset and you lost a little bit of progress as well.
Yeah, that... I don't even want to think about how much progress I lost, because it was a lot.
Yeah, I think it was a dragon fight and 2 boss fights, and then you went to Opera House.
Actually, it was 2 boss fights is what I lost.
Okay, so you saved after the dragon. Makes sense.
Yeah, I saved after the dragon because...
All right, well, we've got Robot Jex now, and You sort of cut out at the end there. Are you back? Can you hear me, Nobody War?
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay. So we'll wait for Jex to come back here. So that was one of the hiccups that he had for this particular race. And then the other one was, of course, the Magimaster at Floating Continent. I don't know if you could hear me or not. Okay. So we may or may not have Jex back. Well, let me send him a message, and when he gets back, then... But yeah, so I think, you know, I think Prominence would have been right there with Jex had he... I understand the thought of splitting up the party. It's also unfortunate that he ran out of warp stones and had to learn the warp spell on one of his party members, right? And now he's just making sure that he's got the right party in the right lane, and I hope he does.
Test.
Hey, there he is.
Sorry, my internet provider is Fisher Price.
Well, I am so glad that some 5-year-olds run your ISP. So yeah, the other thing that sort of was a hiccup in this seed was the Magimaster at Floating Continent sort of thing. Did you ever think about going back there, or was that just I'm going to hope that I don't run into this again, and then lo and behold, of course, it happened.
I had no plans going back to Floating Continent after running into Magi Master. Yeti in Realm was my best bet to take him down. I had no non-elemental attacks to deal with it, or defense ignoring attacks. So there would be no point to going back over there. You know, like, I had Flare, but my damage output at that point in time of the game just wasn't. No, I don't even think I had Flare at that point. I had Ice 2. Yeah,
there was just nothing. Eventually, like, I think Esper... What would have been interesting is we had Berserk from the Esper Mountain reward. So if we had done Esper Mountain first, it's possible we could have gotten past Magimaster, and this looks like a wildly different seed. However, Prominence wiped to Air Force early on and didn't go back until, you know, basically you and him were there at the same time. So that sort of gives you the lay of the land there. So it could have been interesting had somebody gone on that path, you know. So, but yeah, so leaning into Yeti and the Auto-Bserk seed with the Scimitar. We did eventually get some big boppers of items. We got a couple of Illuminas from some of the dragon drops. But early on in the seed, it was pretty rough there.
Yeah, and even the Coliseum was lackluster. I was a little sad with the Coliseum. I was hoping for something to show up. Which is why I decided
that was clutch. Did you catch that?
No, I totally missed it. Sorry.
He just scimitared Narapa.
Oh, yeah, love the scimitar proc.
Oh, yeah, that's always quality entertainment.
Yeah, so you spent quite a bit of time in the Coliseum there.
Yeah, I was grinding out gem boxes because they're worth money.
Yeah.
You know, sleeping bags for gem box. All right, fine. Let's get a bunch of gem boxes and let's go shopping. Maybe I'll find something. That's pretty much what that early strat was.
Yeah, totally understandable there. You know, you walked in with a couple of pieces of camping equipment. You walk out with a cool 100,000. You're pretty good.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a strat. It sometimes works.
Yep. Nobody War, you have any... Oh, Prominence found a sniper somewhere. I just saw it in his inventory. We were just talking about it. But he also opened up 105 chests, something like that. So that was probably a lot more than need be.
Yeah, I was sitting in the 60s by the time I got to the end of it.
Yeah. That makes sense. Nobody War, you got any questions for Jex?
No, I don't think so.
Anything else that was interesting about the run that you want to chat about here?
No, that pretty much covers most of what I was looking at.
I know you
like,
really like this particular set of options, just because of it's a bit of a different.
Auto-Bserk and punching things in the face is always fun.
Yeah.
That's why I like this
Indeed.
flag set.
Glue from the chat asking, what is your second favorite cookie and why is it not oatmeal raisin?
Drinks Glue. I know his favorite. What's the second? I'm gonna have to think about that one. Ginger snaps. Ginger snaps are fantastic.
Those are good too.
Especially when they're fresh out of the oven.
There it is. Share your recipes in FF6 Worlds Collide Discord. That's the link there. Should have a dedicated new channel, recipe sharing. I know Nobody War, you like to do a bunch of cooking.
Professionally.
You got any fun ginger snap recipes to share with the crowd?
I can build you a house if you want.
Out of ginger snaps?
As long as we have a little action figure of Sabin holding it up, we're fine.
I built a roller coaster out of candy pieces.
That's awesome.
That sounds like quality.
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do for my gingerbread house this year, is just do a collapsing house and have Sabin holding it up. I had to draw my gingerbread man like Sabin. Anyway, so Jex, any other final thoughts before we get you out of here?
Yes, absolutely. Anybody here that is new to Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, come join us. There's a link to our Discord in ff6worldscollide.com. Come join our community. We'll teach you all that fun stuff. Show you, give you the strats that we use, different routing, and all that happy fun stuff. We have a great community here. Also give our restream team and our racers a follow. Aside from that, GG's and thanks for tuning in.
All right, well, thank you again, Jex, for volunteering to run on stream. Can't have the races without the runners, so appreciate you taking your time to come and entertain us all. And we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks again.
Yep, thanks for having me. GG's.
All right. So, Tier 1 finally done for Prominence, who got his act together after warping out, walking back around, accidentally running into a dinosaur in the tower. But we're here on Tier 2. And he's got a similar party, but, the difference here is the Realm versus Celeste. Celeste with that natural magic, having access to a few more spells. We do have our Illumina swingers. We got Yeti yeeting the party at other things. So out comes Break for tools. So Break will only work on the long arm of Tier 1. It will not work on tools of Tier 2. Tools is susceptible to instant death, but not Petrify, whereas the long arm is susceptible to both instant death and Petrify. And this could be very bad. We can have a very confused Yeti. Oh boy. Locke gonna hit Umara with some dice to get him out of this confused state. And of course, Hit coming in with the unconfused, so we're gonna accidentally hit our own teammate. And then our other two party members are frozen, so this is going swell so far. This is about as good as Tier 2 goes most of the time. Especially when you don't have access to mute. That is one of the more important status effect spells to have. Also, lack of instant death is not helping here either. But thankfully that Atomic Ray will unfreeze the party. It's the only way to get out of that is to hit yourself with a fire spell. Or have the enemy hit you with a fire spell, which is just as nice. Alright, now I could finally get back to doing our regularly scheduled beatdown of Tier 2. Including Tiger getting hit in the face with an Ice 3 spell. You know, we haven't had one Scimitar proc on Tools yet. I don't even think Tools has been targeted with that Scimitar. And oh no, another muddle. Oh, come on. Thankfully that one missed. Yeah, so as we pointed out, this is the Dragon's Neck flag set. So that's why we have Umaro in our final party, because our characters can be auto-berserked, and Berserk will do 50% more damage for a physical attacker. So it makes sense to be using Umaro here, especially given his incredible defense. He
was
gets
juicing on
punched
the
in the
egg
face.
most of the game too.
He gets punched in the face and gets 0 damage, so he's
He's
almost
like level
unkillable.
53.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Alright, so I think Magic is the only person that's left here. No, we still have hit. Never mind. So, hopefully we don't kill both Magic and hit at the same time, because that's when problems can happen. That's when we get 10 hits after quarter. That's always a mess. Alright, let's see here. I think that's Magic dead now. And here comes 10 hits. So we're out of Tier 2. And on to Tier 3. Which, with one Berserked person, somebody with Offering, will be interesting to see who gets targeted more. But thankfully we have Locke swinging that big sword. I don't know if Celeste learned Flare. Because I know Realm learned Flare for Jexvarok, but this might be a slightly different fight here for Prominence, not having the exact same thing to deal with this third tier here. Alright, let's see. It doesn't look like... Oh, we do have Flare. There it is. Alright, so this will hopefully take down Girl here. And we do have the Fenrir cast coming out for our Calmness Protection. Very nice. So yeah, Pearlwind, unfortunately, oh, it only has 206 health left. So that should be Girl dead in one swing from Shadow. Shadow, please.
Nope.
Of course, Shadow just says, I don't want to kill Girl. That is a job for Celeste. Alright, so this will definitely do it. No, it won't, because it's the wrong target. Unless Girl's already dead. Did I miss that? I must have missed it.
I don't think so.
Well, listen, I mean, you can kill both of them. If you kill both of them at the same time, then that's fine, too. Yeah, we did have to use GP Rain in this seed to get past a Magi Master at the Inferno spot in Kefka's Tower, which is not the first Magi Master we encountered in this seed, but probably the only one we could have beaten. Like I said before, I think the only way that we could have possibly defeated Magi Master earlier on in the seed is if we went to Esper Mountain, got that Esper with Berserk on it, learned Berserk before we got to the end of the first part of the floating continent. That's the only way I think we would have done it. And it would have been interesting because who knows, we might have a completely different set of party members and a completely different seed at that point. Alright, train coming out, which will blind and mute the whole party, but thankfully we've got ribbon on most of our party members, so that does nothing. Here it is, the Calmness, Fenrir, taking one for the team there, and we're up to final Kefka.
We got a sketch here?
Who's got sketch? Locke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather just use the Illumina.
Right, I know. And I would too.
But yes, like...
I'd sketch for the stream, though.
Yeah, the flag strat. You're already in second place in the race. You're going to show off for this stream. So for those that don't know, Sketch will either use the physical special or the magic special of whatever enemy you're sketching. So the physical special is Havoc Wing. So in that case, I think it's 8 times damage. It's either 8 or 4. I don't remember which. And the magical special, in this case, is Ultima. So it's the only way in this particular flag set that you have access to Ultima is with using Sketch. Alright, big use of Quick here to try and get around the enemy ATB. Take 2 turns in a row before we get the Fallen One cast. Thankfully, we did defeat Magi Master, so we do have access to a Mega Elixir in case Fallen One does happen. We saw Jex completely skip over Fallen One. He did more than 30,000 damage there. And it looks like we'll probably be doing the same thing here. Here comes the hyperdrive, so now Kefka's in counter phase. So that makes sense. So we're definitely under 30,000 HP now. So this may proc a counterattack, hyperdrive, or Ultima. Or nothing, which is always a welcome sight. Alright, so Yeti body slamming in for 5,100, and that's it! Boom, boom, crack, pow! That is the end for Prominence. 2:14.17 is his final time. Get your GGs out in the chat. So give our runners a follow there. Prominence87, his first time on stream that I know of anyway. So, and then Jex Rock, who we saw finish a little bit earlier. We'll drag him in to the right channels. And then when you're ready to unmute, we can chat. Congratulations on finishing that disaster. GG. I don't know if you're talking, but I cannot hear you. Yeah, some of these battleground seeds will certainly take a lot longer and require a much different strategy out of our runners here. Are you there, Prominence? Yes, no, maybe so. Can you hear me? All right, we're getting a little Discord restart here. So just to recap, this is the Dragon's Neck flag set where we have some Berserk characters. You can unlock, or you can rather earn a ribbon for killing 2 dragons. And 3 dragons get you plus 20 strength. You have to win a Coliseum match in order to unlock Final Kefka. So we saw Coliseum play into this a bit. With a lot of rewards. We're joined once again by Prominence. Can you hear me now? All right, well, if you could hear me, I cannot hear you. I think I hear you. Was that just you?
Oh, there we go. No,
hey,
sorry
now, things work better when they're plugged in, I guess, right?
I just started working. I don't know.
It's magic, just like this seed was Magic Master.
Oh yeah, it was. But yeah, thank you for having me. And this was my first Dragon's Neck seed, and I was nervous the whole way from start to finish.
Well, I must say that you did a really, really good job, especially early on in the race. You were just grinding through the bosses that were out there in front of you. Unfortunately, you had to take a reset out of Air Force early on, and of course, Air Force dropped a Esper that taught Berserk, and that could have gotten you past either of the 2 Magi Masters that we found throughout the seed. But you did not get that until much later on in the in the race, which is quite unfortunate. Jax also didn't go there until much later, so both of you found the Magi Master at Floating Continent time loss.
Yeah, and by that point, I was just so anxious to get done. I think I didn't even see Berserk. Yeah, that was a big oof.
But you did employ a ridiculously cool strategy that I've never seen before. You use the regular dice, not the fixed dice, because regular dice still do defense ignoring damage. So talk to us a little bit about your Magi Master strategy on the second time around.
To be honest, I forgot Umaru's Rage Throw would go through defense. Yep. So I was just panicking, like, how am I going to deal damage to this guy? Like, all I had was GP throw, and then I saw the dice, and I was like, well, that might do it.
Yep.
And it got me through it.
Yeah, so the Yeti body slam, and you had the rage rings, so the Umaru yeet, the Yeti yeet, as I like to call it, also does defense ignoring damage. So yeah, that was a really nice recovery there and good heads up play. Unfortunately, the bosses did not play nice for you, and you weren't able to get a KT skip when you got to the top of the middle party, and that's where things went a little hairy for you there, with running out of warp stones and choosing the party shuffle in the wrong paths, and that's basically what happened there at the end, right?
Yeah, I realized I messed up, and then I went into the Naraka fight just to see if maybe I could squeeze through it, but then I got the 15-second condemn, and I was like, nah, I gotta reset and fail.
Yeah, I saw that. I knew that was gonna be rough.
Yeah, that was really tough.
Yeah, it's too bad she couldn't equip the scimitar. I might have been able to pull that off.
Yeah, I mean, part of the problem with Realm, and it seemed like you had ditched her relatively early after you got Celeste, was she couldn't equip a lot of the Espers that we had, right? So she didn't really learn any of the spells at all because you just took her out of the party early. Jex did not, ended up, actually being able to equip some of the later Espers onto Realm, but by that point, right, you're basically walking around with a useless party member for most of the game, so it's completely understandable why you swapped her out there.
That totally threw me off guard, because in Ultras League you can equip all the Espers, and then when I saw I couldn't equip them, I was racking my brain, oh no, how should I handle this?
Yeah, it's one of my, I was saying during the stream, it's low-key one of my favorite settings because it allows, or rather it forces you to not be able to just fall back on using a character with magic, right? It makes you think a lot more about your party choices, which is why I particularly like it. I know that you had played mostly Ultra League flags before this one, and I think you did a really good job of adjusting to some of the differences here. So talk to us about how you sort of had to adjust strategies on the fly a little bit as you were playing along with this seed.
I definitely had to think about my weapon choices. I don't know if I did it right, but like I try to choose weapons that would proc magic, but that could kind of put myself in a pitfall too if I choose the right weapon on a boss I don't know that's coming up and like it ends up healing the boss.
Yep, we definitely saw that.
But I got very lucky with my choices, I felt.
Yeah, the first couple of bosses you were able to just claw through basically, and then you ran into some of the tougher ones, and it was like, all right, we're gonna have to, do a little bit of digger deeping here.
Yeah, I didn't find the shop with the ribbon until pretty late, so I just try to get some dragons down as quick as possible, so I had at least control of one character, and then fortunately, Yumaru and Shadow were doing a lot of the heavy lifting for me. Yeah, I'll have to ruminate on how to handle this seed. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Definitely makes Ultra League feel very vanilla.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to say. It's one of those things where we tend to play the game a lot, and you get used to playing how you're normally liking to play, but it also helps break out of the monotony that running the same sets of seeds over and over again can throw at you for sure. But it also goes to show you how customizable and what a different experience Worlds Collide can be based on whatever you want to customize, right? So
oh, absolutely, it felt nothing alike. It's a whole different set of problem solving going on.
yeah, so I think you did really well for your first streamed race. Obviously towards the end there was a bit of hiccups with just not knowing, with the party overloading and things like that, which is sort of a concept you don't practice nearly that much with Ultra League, right? Because normally you do your normal, split the party normal ways, sort of deal. So, but thank you for volunteering to be on Restream. Can't have the races without the runners, so appreciate you volunteering here. You got any other questions for Prominence? Nobody were?
No, I just kind of want to echo what you were saying. No, it was really, really nice and really surprising to watch a new player like this perform so well. And yeah, we enjoyed it.
Well, thanks a lot. That really means a lot coming from you guys, and I've been kind of just watching the community and playing on my own for a while now, but first time jumping in there with the big boys, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so for sure. Yeah, I can't wait for you to run some more seeds and join up more events. We'll be doing Ultra League Season 5 after our current event Battlegrounds wraps up, so hopefully we'll see you out there on that. And yeah, I think it was interesting to see the difference, because you tended to just go for more checks right away. Jexfarok took, I think, about like 25 minutes or so before he finally went and started doing his first check. So it was nice to see, the difference in strategies between the two of you for the race. And you certainly were neck and neck up until, the whole how do I shimmy my party in KT sort of situation, So.
Yeah. I don't mean to hold you up, but yeah, I felt I was playing very conservatively, like just taking every chest I could find. That's interesting.
Yeah, there was certainly a lot of chests. I think you did over 100, which is normally more than I do in 2 seeds.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really cool and interesting to see, how it all played out. So yeah, it was awesome to watch, and thanks again for volunteering to be on stream. Really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you too.
All right, looking forward to seeing you in future races and events. Thanks again. Any other final thoughts?
No, that about covers it.
Awesome.
Thank you
Well,
very much. Have a great night.
you
Take
too.
care, man.
Thanks. Catch you later. All right, so Nobody War, talking about Battlegrounds. So we do have a map. I saw you pull it up before.
Yeah, hold on, let me bring it back.
So yeah, we'll talk briefly about the event as it's going on. There is a lot of blue on this map here for the returners. So currently during this week, I haven't been able to do a recap video of week 4. Just things have been busy. Life has been busy. So we'll sort of do a quick recap of it now. So the returners were able to take control of Eastern Empire there in the lower right-hand corner, which means Vector is available to attack. The top 14 returners go up against the top 9 Empire times. So we need, as the returners, to get a lot more lower times than the Empire does. And if we're able to do it, then I think that means we have captured the capital, and the returners will win this particular event. However, there's still some things that the Empire can do to sort of come back, right? The Eastern Empire spot is up for grabs this particular week as well. So if you turn it back to neutral, then there's a chance of pushing the returners out of the Eastern Empire continent. Also up for grabs is the Delt in the Eastern Territory. So the Empire can potentially turn that back to neutral. Also up for grabs is Dragon's Neck that we just played here. So currently that is Empire controlled. And what is the last one? There's one more battleground.
Velt and Doma.
Oh, Doma is a repeat. That's right. So repeat from last week is Doma. So if the Empire gets their act together this week, they could potentially neutralize Eastern and neutralize 2 of the other Eastern territories, right? To make this map a lot more not blue. And
exactly.
They've just got to hold on to Dragon's Neck in the west, and potentially next week get control of 2 more territories to start attacking into the returners returner base. So a bit of a longer path for Empire to go, but this event is not over yet. So we'll see how it goes. I've done a couple of my races this week. I'm happy with a couple of my times. I have not played some of the other flag sets yet, including Dragon's Neck. So it was nice to see an actual skirmish of this before I run my run, just to remember what that was all about. I think that was the territory during the first week, right? So I know we've played that flag set once before. I just didn't remember it. Maybe I blocked it out of my mind because it was another bad flag set. There have been some doozies thus far in especially the Zozo ones. The 2 Zozo ones are just awful. The one with the Tritok and Burning House, and the other one with, I think it was Magimaster, was the other gate at Opera House. Those are the 2 really bad flags, or 2 really bad seeds that I remember. So anyway, any other thoughts about Battlegrounds here?
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking when you were saying that, I'm gonna have to try to remember not to do all mine in one day this week. Maybe take a break and watch a race first. But we'll see.
Yeah, because otherwise they'll run into one another. And as we were talking about a little bit with our racers, these settings are very different from one another, and also from the normal Ultras League that we're used to. Right, just playing the standard flags. So I like it because it gives me a lot of variety. So
yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, it was great. Done with the 5th one, no, I was like, all right, over for the week.
Doing too many seeds in one day, you're like, wait, was this item in this shop in this seed, or was it in the last seed? And it just gets awful. Anyway, we've been talking way too long. Thank you, Nobody War, for doing the restreaming and the tracking, pushing all the buttons. Appreciate you putting on the show. And we will get together next time. Sometime next week. We'll be on Speed Gaming on Tuesday sometime. And we'll try and get together again Thursday. Got anything else before we get out of here?
No, everything sounds good.
Okay. Thank you once again. And we'll see you all on the next time. Bye-bye. Thank you once again. Bye.